So, what is something that you wish you would have known before you got to Florida? And the top answer we have so far was by Beth. She said, how to speak Spanish. When I went to high school in New Jersey, it wasn't mandatory to take a second language like it is now. So, I really wish I had. And yeah, I would tell you, especially if you're in South Florida, it is very handy to know at least functional Espanol.
And the further south you go, the more it's needed. Like, even in Fort Lauderdale, there were pockets where everybody was speaking Spanish, and I was like, God, I wish I knew what they were talking about.
Yeah.
I would say Palm Beach County for down, you would be good to know Spanish, absolutely. But Kevin's right. There are pockets of Florida that you would never.
Yeah.
It is.
But in South Florida, without a doubt, knowing Spanish is very, very, very handy. Katie said, how crazy the drivers are here, especially on I-95. And that is true. Getting used to driving in South Florida is different. I had lived in Manhattan. I had a car there. I drove in that kind of traffic. And it's just a different kind of traffic than South Florida.
It just feels like at any moment you could lose your life on I-95.
Yeah.
It's always like both hands on the wheel, be alert. Everybody around you has the potential to be froggy.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of people down here from New York.
No
and
doubt,
the reason
yeah.
why we know that is because they tell us.
They do.
And then you got some hot dogs, always hot dogging.
You're
You
right.
do. You do. It's an odd mix of everything. So, yeah, it's a good thing to know. Doug said, I wish I would have known how expensive insurance was on everything. Car insurance, home insurance, now that flood insurance that Virginia's looking at.
Oh, flood insurance.
Yeah.
So expensive.
Another thing I think people should know is how prevalent the Florida man really truly is. He really is around
They're
on every corner.
Every corner.
Yeah.
They are around. We've earned it.
I would even go as far as Port St. Lucie down to the Keys. Beware.
I would say all of Florida does their mark, though. They really do. You can't. I mean, they got them in every nook.
You know what? From the Panhandle down to
Yeah.
the Keys, you're right.
Every nook's got a Florida man. Melissa said, I wish I knew about all of the animals. The palmetto bugs, land crabs, turn signals are obsolete, HOAs, and that your pool water temperature is going to be the same as your bathtub.
I always do wonder, because I feel like me and Denny's legit go through a lot of animal, not only adventures, but trauma at times. Do you guys have so much animal activity in the backyards of your places?
I do.
I got a good bit.
You
Yeah.
do? Okay.
Yeah, we have lots of action.
Yeah.
Tons of action.
I got rats. I got
That's the worst.
iguanas.
Oh, yeah, the
I got
iguans.
bufo toads.
Oh, yeah, BTs are out there, too.
Used to have a bee infestation.
I remember that.
Yeah. I got enough.
At one time, you had a hybrid bee-rat situation.
Just all of it.
And now one shed.
Yes. The whole backyard, honestly, for 5 months out of the year, I don't ever go out back.
Half of the shed was bees, the other half was rats.
My backyard's terrifying.
The bees and the rats and the mosquitoes are fighting over which gets to get you first.
They do, yeah.
At times, I feel like they unify.
It's like they're playing rock, paper, scissors.
You better hope they don't team up.
They are like taking a number. It's like the deli line at Publix. They're all just waiting. Maureen said, I wish that I would have known before I got to Florida that people here are not really friendly and welcoming, kind of grumpy people, which is odd because you live in paradise.
It's not true for everybody.
Yeah, that's hit or miss.
There's pockets.
There is.
We do have your share of Karens and whatever you want to call them all over the place, and grumpy people, especially people that are running HOAs.
Just laugh at them. That's what I do in my neighborhood. When I'm driving by and they're walking around the neighborhood scowling, I just smile real big and wave like, hey, how's it going, neighbor? And that makes them even more mad.
To their point, I do think we're more saturated with more of that type of behavior. If you go to other parts of the country, I don't think you see so much like that. I think you see friendlier, more homey type of things.
Yeah. There's a couple things that I think people should know if you are new to Florida that are not said enough. One, assume every body of water has a gator in it. Do not walk your dogs close to the edge of any body of water ever.
That's true.
You come down here with your dog on a little vacation, you think it's all nice, you get close to the water, that's beautiful. All of a sudden, you will see a gator come right out and snatch Fifi, and then it's dinner. Good luck.
I know this will be controversial, but and it's kind of a high number. 75% of golfers are D-bags. That means
Really?
1 out of 4 is
Wow,
good. 1 out
okay.
of 4 is nice and kind.
Wow.
But the other 75, Virginia, they got an attitude problem.
That's why we mess with them.
I love when you mess with golfers.
I'm not stopping.
I also think people need to know if you go to the beach, and unfortunately, we've had so many tourists that have died here already this year. Know about riptides, how you just let the current pull you out. Don't fight against it. You tear yourself out, tire yourself out. Just let it take you. And 2, don't dig on the beach. Do not dig a hole. Don't do it.
I'm going to go on a limb and say this, too. It's a combination kind of a thing. If you get pulled over by a flat top cop on a motorcycle in Florida, you're going to get the highest of tickets and possibly tased.
Fall on the sword. Don't fight with him.
Don't fight with the flat top.
You're not going to win.
Let me see some of the other things people wish that they would have known. One person texted in, said, I wish I would have known how useless bike lanes are pertaining to your safety. You only find me on the sidewalk. I don't care what the law is.
When I see people in the bike lane, I'm like, man, you are taking your life in your hands, bruh.
Believe me, I've had a few run-ins with some bikers. They're not always so cool.
Okay. Other things, one person texted and said, I wish somebody would have told me how humid it is here. I can't even walk my dog without buckets of sweat.
See, I kind of feel like everyone knows how humid Florida is, no?
It's bad
I
right
don't think
now.
people get what it's like because since you are a native, Jay Bird, man, when I go up north, I hop into a state like Ohio, my home state or something like that. You get off the plane, you're immediately like, wow, so this is what it feels like to not have humidity. It's a crazy thing. And then when you land back in Florida, as soon as those airport doors open, you're like, it's a real thing.
When I went to Oregon and had long hair, my braids were just a little bit sweeter, just a little bit smoother,
Yeah.
just a little bit more, I don't know, more comfortable as soon as you get to Florida.
It does make your skin more moist down
It
here.
does.
Magnolia went up to New York a few weeks ago, and she was up there for a week, and she said all of her skin was like dry and cracking.
Absolutely.
So that is one good thing about the humidity.
Yeah, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. There's so many positives. There's a lot of awesome things. And, some people are like, I hate Florida. I love Florida. I do, through and through. But, it's like with anything. There are a couple things that you just need to be aware of to be in this state. It's not like any other state.
Look, this segment's not about puppy dogs and babies. This is about
about
bagging.
truth, baby.
This is about going in on Florida.
About spitting some truth.